Did you hear me?
What?
It's proof that female dwarves don't have beards.
It's not at all.
I'm pushing a button. I'm pushing a button.
Just you wait.
Oh, it's starting.
I can make you one. I can be fired. Yeah,
Excited.
fight, fight, fight.
5.
We're too busy.
But we are. And another thing, Dave.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
wait. We are live on the air, apparently.
Oh my God, there's a sign.
I know, isn't that terrible? There is a sign. Well, okay, so all the bad conversations stop now. Welcome to the SOE Community Broadcast. This week we are going to talk to the EQ2 team here, and the theme is Age of Discovery, Last Chance Webcast. And our guests today, Akil drew the short straw. This is Akil Hooper. He's the lead designer, known as Lyndro. Next to him, Emily Taylor. She is the associate producer for EQ2. And then next to her, Greg Spence, the guy who, I don't know how did you have time to come in here? Aren't you supposed to be finishing Dungeon Maker or something?
I don't know. It'll get done sooner or later.
With insane confidence.
Your box on the side.
Oh, we are.
Yes?
We black screened for a second.
We black screened. Okay, wait, technical difficulties?
We should be good. Your microphone
We should be good.
keeps fading, so.
Oh, the microphone keeps fading. Yell louder. Got it. Okay, so Greg Spence, he is the lead programmer for EQ2, and in the back, far away from me, is Dave Georgeson, executive producer of the EQ franchise. So you guys are just screaming down the path here towards launch, aren't you? Normally we put the player questions toward the very end, but the first one is incredibly important. Mariah W. asked on Facebook, is there a release date yet? And you're all here to say? Who gets to say it? Oh. And there you have it. There is a release
we have
date.
a release date. Next question.
No, seriously, who wants to give the date?
The big man.
Oh, the big man.
The big man.
Are we announcing the date?
Yes, we are.
All right. Then I guess we'll release next week, December 6th.
December 6th. Okay, that is Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
The day when half of the country is going to call in sick to work. I think that's
Including
gonna be
me, actually.
awesome. Yeah, community's not going to show
Is that
up
all right?
either.
Do I need to be here next
Can I
Tuesday?
get you that,
You
actually?
can VPN.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they can find you just about anywhere that you are. Okay, so so that means that beta is winding down. That means that you guys are fairly confident that you're approaching the end of all of your tasks. Is everything locked down already?
No, actually. We have a lot of stuff locked down. Most of the stuff is locked down. But we've been watching the feedback from players really carefully in the beta forum. So no, things are not locked down because when we're getting that feedback from players, there's really no point in having beta if we're not also acting on the feedback. So there are lists of, most of the things that we're doing right now are just straight up bug fixes. We're just nailing stuff down. But there are a few things, particularly with Dungeon Maker and a couple little things that we agreed to do on Trade Skill Apprentice and Reforging that are not, well, actually I think Reforging is all done now. And Trade Skill Apprentice may actually be all done.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's all done now. But we still have a few things that we're changing to Dungeon Maker.
So does this mean you guys are working through the weekend?
Yeah, if that's necessary.
We'll see.
We'll do what we need to do, yeah. But we're not going to rush anything last minute because we don't want to introduce any more bugs into the system. So we'll get it as stable as we can, and then you can expect a 1.1 patch, you know, in an upcoming week after the expansion launches, where we can introduce some additional features that we didn't quite get in time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty much standard operating procedure.
So last time we talked, you guys were working very hard on the Dungeon Maker project. And how is that coming together? Is it fun?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
I'm having
fully
a good time
admit
with
I
it.
haven't
It
had
seems fun.
time. I haven't had time to do it. I'm dying for it. So
Linda, you're one of the people that is really going to like the feature.
really,
Yeah, I think you're really gonna like it. It's so when we were doing the press tours and we were showing Dungeon Maker to people, you know, they were enthusiastic about all the things we were showing them, like Beastlords and Mercs and all that other stuff. But when we got to Dungeon Maker is one of those things that you don't fully realize how cool it is until you start screwing around
messing with it. Yeah.
And once you do that and you start thinking about the potentials for what can occur and how much fun it is to run through stuff that's constantly being generated and everything like that, people start to really twig to it, and the press definitely got it. Hopefully that's the case when the embargoes lift tomorrow and we start seeing the articles. But I think that they were really excited at the end of the press tours when we were talking to them. They were like, yeah, I totally see it. I think the players are going to like it, and we're pretty happy with it.
So what websites should we be looking for articles on Age of Discovery tomorrow?
Oh, good God. Do you
All the
remember
usual-
everybody we talked to, Emily?
This is a test. I know I should have given you this question in advance. I'm just
We had
curious
like-
where I should be
We
going.
had like 5 or 6 different press tours in the same day.
It was
so
a bit of a blur.
It
Tell
was
you
a
what,
long day, wasn't
It
it?
was-
community team, we'll be posting links to them.
Did you hear that? Community team will be posting links. Get on that, Amy. Thanks. Yeah, we'll get those posted up on the EQ2 site as soon as we can tomorrow, as soon as those articles start rolling in. So have you guys all made dungeons?
I have, yeah.
Who's got the best dungeon so far?
Not me.
I have not made
Yeah.
a dungeon on
You
beta.
haven't. You're just building the program.
I
You don't have time to
any
make
time
a
that I have to
dungeon.
do anything, I'm fixing
Look,
bugs.
I'll
Yeah.
put my- I'll
All
put
of my
money down on it.
all of my dungeons right now are like, is this thing working? Does this work? Is this functional? So yeah, I have lots of stuff lined up down hallways.
Out of the 4 of us, if anybody bets on anybody but Emily, you're an idiot.
Ah.
Mine's very pretty, but I think I forgot to put monsters in.
So more housing. Got it.
It's still to come. There'll be a launch feature in my dungeon.
So are you? How many people are in beta now? You must be like fully loaded with beta people now, right? Or are you still letting a few more in?
Yeah, no, we have more to let in. Right now it's what, 2,500? Is that right?
A bit more than that, I think.
Yeah, so
Wow.
2,500 to 3,000, and we've got another 3,500 people we'll be letting in at the end of the week.
Wow, terrific. Okay, everybody
Basically,
except.
everybody gets in at the end of the week.
Oh, that's
Everybody
great.
that applied gets in.
That is really, really cool. So if you haven't yet applied and you want a sneak peek at what's coming up, make sure that you go to the EQ2 site, sign up for the beta, sign the NDA. That's very, very important. And it sounds like you'll actually get it. Oh,
I actually think beta registration closed.
Yeah,
did
I'm
it?
pretty sure
We
it's
close it?
closed.
We don't leave it open?
I'm pretty sure it's closed.
Closed.
Okay, forget that. You people, too late. Sucks to be
Wait
you.
till next week. Next week we'll be here very soon.
Yeah, very true, very true. So what sorts of feedback have you got on, say, let's do one at a time, the Dungeon Maker? Have you had, you say that people, once they try it, they're really enjoying it?
We've got a lot of good feedback. I mean, people are telling us about, bugs they're finding. They're telling us what they like about it. And people are being honest about things they'd like to see it do that it can't do as well. And of course, some of those things we're looking at trying to add, and there are other things that are wish list items that will take a lot more time that we'll have to give more thought to.
Right.
But we definitely agree with people in general when it comes to the more customization, the better. We'd love to give the world for designing the dungeon. It's just everything has time associated with it. So we just have to look at that feedback and sort of prioritize it based on impact and time, and we'll do what we can do to make it better even after launch.
One of the nice things about the system, though, is it's really modular. So if we want to add more stuff in for players to put in their toolbox, it's pretty easy for us to do that on our end. And so expect more stuff as the feature matures and advances.
Oh, yeah.
That's the stuff that we're trying to squeak in here at the end right before launch, is we got feedback on beta that said, this is all cool and it's fun and I get it, but we can't really stamp our own personality on the dungeon. So that's why we want to add things like dialogue tweaks and being able to customize monster names and things like that. And we're trying to get that in before launch, but there's not very much time between now and then.
No, I know.
So it may end up being a 1.1, a hot fix a couple of days after or something like that. But yeah, it's coming. Like this is the kind of feedback we were getting from players. They dig it. They just want more. So we were picking and
That
choosing.
is a good place to be in.
Yeah,
As
yeah.
opposed to, yeah, we get it, what else have you got?
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
We had some great suggestions, actually. Things we hadn't thought of that will be fantastic to get in.
Yeah, I would say probably the best feedback that had the biggest impact on the features was Reforging, Trade Skill Apprentice, and Dungeon Maker.
So what sorts of feedback did you get on reforging? That seemed fairly straightforward initially.
Well, that was actually the issue. It was too straightforward.
Ah.
They wanted more gameplay involved with the feature. It was a very powerful feature in being able to get swap out your stat and be able to get decorations to put on it. Change the particle effects and all that other stuff. But what people really wanted was something that, well, for instance, they'd go there and it was an interface where you could change a blue stat. It doesn't seem very impressive. So what we needed to do was open up the venue, or open up the opportunity to find out what decorations are, how you can customize the appearance of your weapon, and we're doing that through quests. So when you go to the Reforger and initially, there's a quest there where he says, go find a decoration. You go out and complete that, and then once that's done, then there's a successive quest that continues to let you go out and find more stuff. So what we're doing is basically adding a little bit of gameplay. Trade Skill Apprentice got that even more so, whereas it didn't have enough. The trade skillers were not appreciating the fact that, they weren't getting any quests. So now the trade skill apprentice, as part of his process of research, twigs into ideas of things that you can go do, and then when you've done that, it basically increases his research, and you kind of jog his elbow, and he gets faster and that sort of thing. But you're also picking up the rares and stuff that you need for the recipes.
That's actually pretty cool. I know that EQ2 is known as one of the few MMOs that really delves heavily into trade skilling, and Quest 2 has always been an important part of that. So,
Sure.
Yeah, not surprised you got a lot of feedback on that.
Yeah, it's been great. Like, I mean, we've been accused completely validly in the past for not being as responsive as we needed to be with beta feedback. So this time around, well, they were right. And this time around, we're working really hard to make sure that's not the case.
A couple of weeks ago, I happened to have a picnic lunch with Emily. She dragged my husband and myself outside into the daylight for the first time in I don't know how long.
And you didn't burn or...
We sat under trees. Well, we were being very, very careful. So one of the things we started talking about was the Beastlords and the range of pets that you can have. So what's that?
Warders.
Oh, sorry. Well, okay.
Pets are for the other
Warders, fine,
Yeah,
fine.
warders have a lot more stuff with them. They're a different class.
You know, it's players that we call them health bars and mana bars, and we
No,
don't care
no,
what
no.
game we're playing, it's all the same.
I'm just saying
So
that
the
pets are
warders that you can tame,
Yeah.
they're extraordinarily diverse. What is the weirdest warder that you're aware of? Each of you.
The duck.
The duck.
The duck. There is one tameable duck in the world somewhere.
And he's not there all the time.
And he's not there all the time.
This is going to be the most coveted warder.
Totally.
I think
Oh yes,
the
there's
cow
there's
is phenomenal.
one
The cow?
there's one
Yeah.
tameable duck.
Okay, so the warders are all based on sort of different fighting styles, right? So what sort of a fighting style does a duck have?
Well, no, they're so
Kung fu duck.
they're based on families. So so warders, each warder that you tame belongs to a certain family, and the family of warder gets specific attacks and
Right.
advancement trees. So the duck is part of the avian, the bird family. So so the duck would be a bird. The cow is in the same family as other
Deer.
bovids like deer and goats and
Stags.
stuff.
Yeah, but what does a duck do? Like, I got this duck following me around. What does it do?
It looks awesome.
Somebody step on a duck.
It quacks you up.
Okay, all right, so what you're telling me is you guys don't know. You just don't know, or it's a huge
Well,
secret?
it's like a bird. It's
Yeah,
the
it's
birds. The birds are the same. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a regular avian warder.
Yeah.
But what does an avian warder do?
Avian.
What skills, man?
Avian warders, I believe there are two families. There's attack and defensive. I'm pretty sure the avian warder is all defensive. I don't remember what their abilities are specifically.
We have 48. I mean, like we have 16 families and
Yeah.
a ton of different warders in each of the different families.
How on earth do you balance 16 families? Oh, whose job is that?
You say, Zelgad, balance
Hey,
16
we
families.
balanced 24 classes, right?
25 now.
16 families, no problem, right?
Absolutely. Trivial.
All right, so one of the big changes that's coming down the pipe that we're putting out just in advance of the expansion is the new EQ2 launcher. What can you tell us about that? I know that we put up FAQs yesterday, and you put up a bit of a producer's letter explaining that it was coming and why. So let's go through that. What is it? When is it coming? Where do we get it? And how do we get it?
Well, most of it's really simple. I mean, there's really only 4 things that it changes. One of them is it gets rid of Flash, so you don't need Flash anymore. Yay.
Yay.
The second one is it's a lot faster if you're using an old launcher as far as patching it up, and it's a lot smarter about what it patches, so you're going to patch less data. And then it looks prettier. I mean, those are really the 4 things that are around this new launchpad. But as far as how they get it, run your old launchpad.
And it'll automatically upgrade.
Yeah, it'll just automatically upgrade itself, and
Magic.
then you just launch into the game normally.
That sounds too good to be true, which is
Well,
why
it's-
we're pushing it out before the expansion, right? Just in case?
It is true that we're launching it ahead of time so that we get time to shake it out in case there's issues. We're hoping there's no issues.
Yeah, we definitely are. I did see it demonstrated, and it looked way too slick. Like, it looked too good to be true. Shiny, fast,
It is pretty.
organized. It's amazing.
It's definitely pretty, and I personally like the fact that we're getting rid of the Flash install. I think that's just annoying for customers.
Yeah, I think most of us are. Are you guys ready to get to the player questions?
Yeah.
Okay, all right here. We've already covered the release date, next Tuesday. Take the day off now. All right, Stephanie C. asks, when the extended server gets combined, do you still need to pay for a station pass to access your tunes?
The
Well,
answer
the
is...
station access covers, station access will get you a gold membership in EQ2
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
as well as to memberships in all of the other games that we have.
Yeah.
So to access your tunes, well, you'll still be able to access
But
some
she
of
said
them.
station pass, right?
Yeah, but the station passes...
That was the five,
What-
wasn't it the $5? I'm confused by the question.
Yeah, okay, so if it's station access, that's what you pay. It's $19.99 a month, and that gives you gold membership access or subscription to all of our games. Now, station pass was a special weekend pass, so that's a somewhat different thing. I think we have too many similar terms
Yeah, I don't
there.
think she's talking about the pass. Most people don't.
Yeah, exactly. It's not very well known.
Station access is a bit tricky, and we can run through the math here, but nobody is going to be very interested in the math. If you have a really old station access account and you were grandfathered in when we changed it, then you get 5 extra character slots.
That's probably what the reference
Right.
is.
So that still
Those
exists.
stay.
Yeah, that still exists.
Yeah.
So if you, well, I'm about to post. Sorry, if I can ever get it written. I've been trying to write it all day.
What do you do all day anyway?
I know. I'll talk about that. But the total number of slots that you're going to get is going to be hopefully fully explained in detail tonight in a post that I'll make. And when that's done, everybody should be able to get all the answers that they're asking on this. But the answer is you'll be able to play all your characters. And you're not going to lose any slots. It's a really, really good solution.
Okay, very good. Robert A. would like to know, when are you adding the ability to pick your character from the new launchpad before clicking play? That's probably going to come sometime in the future, I would assume.
Yeah, the Launchpad guys are talking about it now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Terrific.
there's a handful. They're watching that thread, that feedback thread. Like, we're really paying attention this time. They're watching that feedback thread, and they've already started compiling a list of things that they want to do to Launchpad based on that. And that was one of the things that they thought was low-hanging fruit that they could get to rapidly, but they did not set a date with me, so I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Heather F. says, how many extra AAs will be in this release? You guys know?
20?
Are you guessing?
20, yes.
There you
20.
go, 20.
20.
How many would you like to have?
Yes. No, 20 additional.
So Deliberator from the Bazaar has a similar question. In addition to wanting to know what the new AA limit is, how is the limit distributed between the trees? Has there been any thought to allowing the AAs to be earned without limit but limit spending? That sounds like algebra to me.
I don't remember how what the distribution is between the trees off the top of my head, but was the second part of the question?
Has there been any thought as to allowing AAs to be earned without limit but limit
We
spending?
think about lots of stuff.
At your Monday morning meetings?
Yeah. Specifically, I don't remember if that's something that's come up in discussion in the past. It's definitely something we could talk about again, but...
There has been thought.
There has been
Definitely.
thought.
There has
Yes,
been thought.
there's been thought.
That answers the question.
I think people would actually be really stunned to find out how many ideas we entertain on a daily basis. I mean, we're constantly talking about how we can rev the game, and most of it doesn't get done.
Right.
We only have so many hours.
Indeed. Aniva from Kithakor asks, are there any current or future plans on the shelf to allow purchase of separate pieces of AOD, such as buying just the Beastlords and AA or Mercenaries, etc.?
There are no current plans for that.
Gotcha. Draco asks, question about Dungeon Maker. Why is it that we're only allowed to use NPCs? If NPCs are the only option, can we at least customize them? Over to you, Greg.
Only NPCs. I'm not quite sure what the other option
You mean
would
As opposed to
be.
using your own
Avatars?
play characters, I
So I see. Adventurers. So what was the second part of the question?
The second part is, if NPCs are the only option, can we at least customize them?
Okay, yeah. So, well, there are no plans to do customization on the adventurers right now. I mean, we do have a large number of adventurers that you can unlock with varying play styles. And we are talking about solutions where in a future update we may be able to allow you to play as your own character, but that's still something where we'd have to work out the details and make sure it's balanced. So we don't have anything to announce specifically on that, but we are listening to feedback, and we'd really like to see what people say when it's released. I mean, we've got the beta feedback. Once it gets out there to the public and everybody sees it, we'll see. I mean, maybe everybody loves the adventurers, and that's great. If there's still a big drive to play, your player character, we'll continue to look at solutions for that and see if it's something we can do.
Okay.
I suspect Draco wants to play as an Ixar. He's one of our biggest Ixar lore fanatics, so... yes.
And are there Ixar adventurers?
I don't believe there
All
are.
the adventurers are non-player classes.
Yeah.
Races.
Races,
Yes.
yes.
So Brig from the forums has a question about mercs. Will we be able to cast on or affect them with group buffs?
They are
Absolutely,
players.
yes.
So they are treated just like anybody else in your group.
They are players.
Very cool. Elskador has a question. Oh no, we've already answered that. How many new AAs?
20.
There you
Hey,
go.
well done.
Sorry,
So
we
well,
didn't have.
Just to clarify, 20 points, not 20 new AAs,
Right,
not like
20
abilities you can...
Correct, right. Oberon Thunderfire asks, what type of mercs will be available? Strictly tank and healer types, or will there also be utility DPS types? Also, how good is the AI on mercs?
I think the AI is pretty good. There's been a lot of work gone into making them smart, but we don't want them to be smarter than players, so... so they will make mistakes every once in a while, and the reaction
Like
time
players
isn't
never do.
perfect. Exactly.
Never. Never.
No.
That'd be
Players
kind of awesome,
always
actually.
remove-
Yeah.
I feel like
they'll always
Mercenaries
cure every
Skynet.
time.
They just
Always.
take over the,
The
game
Ranger
and like
Merc will die a
ninja
lot
alert
more
everything.
often.
But yeah, there's
Thanks,
range,
Greg.
there's range DPS and close-up DPS, and mercenaries do have some utility abilities as well. So
The
some
no
variety.
Merc will go loot a collection item in the middle of combat and let everybody die.
Okay, we just have a couple of questions that we have time for yet, and at the very end, do we still have that slideshow prepped? We have some pretty cool images of some of the Beastlords with their warders. Look, see, I'm getting good with
Warders?
the terminology.
Nice.
I'll call them pets later.
Nope.
Oh, wait, warders! Warders! God, I need to keep this job. All right, let's see. Irish from the forum says, will we have daily launch week events like we did with Velius?
Not like the Velius ones.
Oh God, no, we're not doing that. No,
This is Dave going, no!
that was a nightmare. No, we're not doing that.
Well, when we launch, we're starting Frostfell right away, so it would be kind of redundant to do a lot of other stuff at the same time since
Right.
we're in the Christmas season already.
Do we have a date on Frostfell yet? Do you know when we're planning to?
I believe when it launches, Frostfell will be there.
Oh, right.
At least that's the
Embedded
current
in,
plan.
on the
Maybe they can
6th.
check their in-game calendar.
Oh yes, well, wait,
Where
have
is
I
that,
updated
Dave?
that?
Where's the in-game calendar?
Let me just run back to my
Press the
desk. and-
start menu and
check I
click
updated
calendar.
The EQ2 menu? Pull
Yes.
up and calendar is there?
That's right.
Does everybody realize that? Open it up. It's cool.
That said, if Frostfell's not in there yet, it will be when I get back to my desk. I'll have to double check.
All right, last questions. Silena asks, what is the pricing structure for mercenaries? What types of mercenaries will be available at launch? We already covered that. And will there be plans for more mercs later on? Are the rare random world mercs that were mentioned at Fanfare still going to happen?
Okay, lots of questions.
I know.
pricing?
Let's
Which
start with the
pricing
one that's
structure?
really important to me. What's the pricing
So
structure?
the pricing is going to vary. We're still working on it based on feedback from players, and the pricing is going to vary as you level up. So higher level mercenaries are going to be more expensive than lower level mercenaries, so players can still access them. You'll have a price to hire them, and then a constant recurring cost to keep them hired.
Okay.
And next, types of mercenaries, we answered that.
Yep.
There will be more mercenaries later, absolutely. We'll keep on making them. And there are random world mercenaries. They're a little different than we were talking about at Fanfare, even though the ones that were talked about at Fanfare are still on our plate. The ones that are going to be in game now aren't going to be unique. So I believe at Fanfare, the mercenaries were going to be, there can only be one in the world at any given time. Now these are going to be mercenaries that are a little more, that are different. They're going to be they're going to be unique models. They're elite mercenaries, we're calling them. And you have to go out in the world and you have to find them. But it's not like the super rare storyline mercenaries that were talked about at Fanfare.
Maybe we can do artifacts when we do the other one.
Yeah.
See, already more ideas coming. So, next Tuesday, book it off work now. I didn't tell you that actually, but do it anyway. Make sure that you pre-order your Age of Discovery. Make yourself a Beastlord, hire a mercenary. Go gather stuff to put in your new dungeon that you're building. And we'll see you guys all next Tuesday. Thanks very much for being with us today. Bye!
Favorite screens.
Unhappy tech person.
Her microphone is.
You did not smile the entire session.
But we tested every single mic before we went live, and they all worked fine.